felt that maybe didn't stand out?
No, it's the same. I mean, I thought, like I said, I liked the competitiveness that we had. I liked the physicality that we had. I liked the poise that we showed through the ebbs and flows of a game. We're not going to play perfect. But we were detailed in our execution, and, I thought we had good togetherness. So have to be able to do that again tomorrow.
What have they done to force you into more turnovers the last couple of games?
I mean, it's something that they do best. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the league at it. I mean, they do a great job changing defenses, aggressive pick and roll coverages, aggressive in their shifts, aggressive in their help, physical on-ball defenders. So it's something that they do best. We have to do a good job of combating that. And I think that's part of where we showed great moments of that. We've got to be as consistent as we possibly can in that.
What did you see from Baylor when he got his opportunities yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, it's what he's done all year for us. He's done a great job defensively. He's had some really good possessions against their guys offensively, making shots, and really offensive rebounds. He got as soon as he got in, had 2 big offensive rebounds for us, hit 2 catch-and-shoot shots. And on the defensive end, executes, kind of our system and the game plan very well. So just very consistent, throughout the season and in the role that we need him to play.
Off of that, Joe, you went 10 deep at the start of the second quarter. How much of a luxury is it to be able to have that deep of a bench this time of year when most teams go 8, maybe 9?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the game. I think at the end of the day, we've built an identity of we can have a bunch of guys that we can go to, and anybody can impact winning, and our guys really do a good job of understanding how they could each impact a role. And so we didn't do that in Game 2. We did it in Game 1 and Game 3. But it's really just a credit to the guys of knowing that we can go to different lineups, different things, and we can get impactful plays. Luka didn't play in the second half, but in the first half had an offensive rebound, had a catch and shoot 3 for us, and get some good stuff defensively for us. So we just need to be able to continue to be able to go whatever gives us the best chance at that time.
Neemias had a couple of two of his lightest minute loads of the season in this series. Has that been a matter of the early fouls or the matchup? Just what's got into that?
Yeah, I would say mostly the early fouls, but again, it goes back to I thought Vooch was great last night. I mean, he did great stuff for us on both ends of the floor. Really in his shot making, but also his screening and his play making. So mostly his foul trouble. Obviously, we need Neemias at his best, for us to be a great team, and we've got to continue to have that.
Joe, you did such a good job all year of staying out of foul trouble. What about this series has been, a challenge for him in terms of avoiding those?
I mean, some of those have been illegal screens. Some of them, they have great guard play where they can get downhill and they put a ton of pressure on your bigs and pick and roll. So we just got to be as disciplined as we can in our screening and our pick and roll defense.
When he came out after either like the second or third, I saw you have a conversation with him. What are some of the coaching points for him right now in this series specifically?
Don't foul.
Joe, you talked about it a couple times, but Philly's really good at taking any mistake and turning it into a 7-0 run or these big swings. What's the key to limiting those? What's the key to try avoiding them in general? Mistakes are going to happen, but what's
it's not perfect. So you take a look at a couple of plays last night. I think JB loses the ball. He sprints down in transition, gets a block. Right, it's just move on to the next play as fast as you can. JB blocks the guy at the rim. Baylor comes in, gets a steal. That's a live ball turnover that because of our competitiveness and our next play mentality, you're able to get that. But then you look at the rim read Luka has on Bona gets a block, they come down, and Edgecombe gets a dunk. But Sam gets a back cut, Bona gets another block, they come down and get an extra possession. So it's just managing the transitions of the game, knowing that you're not going to play perfect. How quickly can we move on to the next possession? But you want to take care of the ball. You want to have great rim reads, and then when you do make a mistake, which is going to happen, you just sprint back and have a next play mentality.
So it's less about stopping them and more about being able to do it yourself as well.
It's just managing them. Yeah, I mean, it's just managing them. You're going to have, ideally, I'd like to have in Game 1 we had 8 turnovers. In Game 2 we had 15, 17 last night, so you want to have less of those. But at the end of the day, we just got to make plays. You just got to you just got to make a next play, and some of that you'll control. Some of that they're really good at that. So I think our offensive rebounding, our ball security, we has to be able to do some of that. Our rim reads have to do that, but then we just got to sprint back and make plays, which I thought our guys did a good job of doing.
Joe, you mentioned the body language yesterday being something that you liked. Well, as a coach, what are you looking for in body language in a game like that? That you kind of, I don't think you bring that up very often, but
it's just poise. It's just poise. It's just again, it goes back to you're not going to play perfect. You got to have a level of poise, a level of consistency in our mindset and our execution. Again, we had 17 turnovers. We had some plays where we got to be better at, and you could easily go the other way. And so I thought we just did a good job staying to the course. And that's the playoffs. It's an ebbs and flows. I forgot what our lead was at halftime, but they go up a certain amount, and then we come back, and it's a 1 or 2 possession game. You have to be able to stay poised in those situations. I thought the guys did a good job of that.
Final question for
Joe. With Derrick gets hit in the first minute, and he's literally shaking it off. What went into not taking him out, or you brought Payton to the scorer's table? What was that conversation like? Or in that situation, are you just saying like gut it out? Like what's?
It wasn't much of a Derrick said I'm not coming out, so I mean, it was just that simple.
So he told you that?
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
how did? You got to be fired up about that.
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to, at the end of the day, he's got a competitive character. And I think all our guys would do that. I mean, he's got a competitive character about him. The trainer wanted to make sure, one, it wasn't a head thing, which I think is important. That's why we sent Peyton there, to make sure it wasn't a head thing. But once we decided, he just said, I'm not coming out. So I was like, all right, I mean, you do what you got to do. I respect that, though, for sure.
I think like 4 of your threes came off offensive rebounds. What's the key to kind of having the second phase of guy gets it and kind of having the quick strike?
Yeah, I mean, the key is just getting extra possessions when we can. It doesn't have to be a three. I think the key is just getting extra possessions, and that's the most important thing. And you want to do those through ball security, through offensive rebounding, and through trying to force some turnovers. But those are a luxury. Obviously, offensive rebound threes are a luxury, but just getting offensive rebounds in general help us. And then, when you can convert them, it gives you a chance.